Alright, PC Ingredients YouTubers. So the Billboard Music Awards 2017. I'll be honest, this is not really the awards that I really check for or really make an effort to watch, but my subscribers do cuss me out if there's an award show that comes on and I have not reviewed it, and well, at least the ones that are related to music. So they expect for there to be something. Otherwise, I'm going to hear about it on my social media. But, you know, I'll be honest, this is just not that award show I check for. Like this one, the VMAs, the Teen Choice Awards, you ain't never got to worry about me watching. Sometimes AMAs, those are just not award shows I really check for because, one, I feel like those are award shows that are catered to more so what's current, what's popping on the radio, what's extremely, you know, in syndication all the time on America's like national radio playlist and what's going on Vivo and everything like that. And I'm just not in the loop with a lot of these things. So for me, watching like this award show was like sitting at a high school graduation. It's like, you know, you root for them 2 or 3 kids that you know, your cousin and the cousin's best friend and maybe the kid that lived down the street. But the other 800 kids, you were like, yo, how long is this thing gonna be? And how many speeches we gonna have? Dang, it's just a high school graduation, okay? Oh my God, like that's how I felt sitting through this thing. This thing was like 3 hours, and Game 3 was on. So I was like, okay, all right, y'all almost had me miss Avery Bradley's winning shot, but I just happened to flip just in time, and I caught the tail end of the game. But anyway, so the award show, it's not really my thing. It's just reflective of where music is right now, and I don't really follow pop music like I used to, mainly because I think, and I've said this before, pop music doesn't have its own distinct sound. You know, pop music follows whatever trend is already popular. And right now, the popular trends of pop music are something extremely generic where there's not a whole lot of effort put into the actual music or the track that they're singing over. And it's, you know, overdubbed with some auto-tune and it is what it is. Or they go and they do the let's steal from the black people thing, but we won't do it as good as them, but we'll get all the accolades and awards for it thing. You know, it's either one or the other. So I'm letting this current trend go on and pass by. But getting back to the show. Nicki Minaj opened the show. Nicki was okay. Nicki's not really my kind of artist. She's kind of half and half for me. I like some of her stuff. A lot of her stuff I don't really pay attention to. But the performance was cool for what it was. They gave her like an award, I think, or they honored her for just her accomplishments in music. Because even if you don't like her, you know, she's done a lot in like the last 6 or 7 or 8. Well, she came out around like 09, I think is when she really started popping. 09, 2010, something like that. You know, in the time that she's been out, she's actually been able to accomplish a lot, break a lot of records, and I think that also has to do with the fact that she also leaned on the pop audience to help push her. So, you know, she got a little bit of the best of both worlds. She got some of the hip-hop world, she got some of the pop world, she put it together, sold a lot of records. So I'm not mad at her. Nicki did okay. Her performance, you know, I don't have a real expectation for her as a performer. There's not really a standard that I think she's, you know, that she has to stand by as a performer. So, you know, it is what it is. Jason Derulo was also in the performance. And I think Jason Derulo is kind of like an example of what I said about pop music. Like, you know, he has no distinct sound. You know, you don't know what his direction is going to be. His albums or his singles, it all depends on whatever's going on with music. And that same can be said for somebody like Katy Perry, who's right now going through like a crisis trying to figure out what she wants to do musically. You know, I just see that. Like, there's not really a direction with Jason Derulo's sound. But he was there. Whatever he did, it was okay, I guess. Moving on from them. Then Camila, the girl from Fifth Harmony. What I find so funny is, when I reviewed the AMAs, Fifth Harmony performed the That's My Girl. And I said, like, something's off about them. I don't see them as a group. I see them as a bunch of soloists competing, and unfortunately they were stuck together. And they don't seem to do it for me all the way. And you Fifth Harmony fans came on there, cussed me out. I was all kind of names. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know music. You're just a hater. So y'all said all that, and then a week later the girl left the group and went solo. I said, I guess I don't know nothing, do I? But anyway, so Camila is the first one to break out of the Fifth Harmony shell, and she's decided to go solo. I don't know who told her she was the Beyonce of the group, because I thought that would have been the Normani girl. Who's that? There's another girl in the group named Lorde or something like that. That would have been that one maybe. But Camila said, no, it's me. I'm the star. I deserve to be solo. But you know, that's how they came as a group anyway. They all went on X Factor as solo acts. The judges didn't see it for them as solo acts. So it was like, oh, let's put you guys together and mold you a bit. And so Camila came out and she performed her new single. The song for me is okay, but it's not something I haven't heard before. And it goes back to what I said about that current trend about, well, let's just steal what the black people are doing. And right now, a lot of pop acts are doing this whole dance hall thing. But it's not even like a really good dance hall. It's like generic cruise ship dance hall. And so I'm like, I just feel like if you're going to leave a girl group as big as Fifth Harmony, which at the time was literally the only girl group that was out, you know, you got to come harder than that. And to be honest, I think she should have stuck and stayed in the group for at least one more album. Because Fifth Harmony, I think, was still on the climb up. I think they'll still be successful with just the four. But I feel like she should have waited. You know, let Fifth Harmony get one more album in there just so they could solidify, you know, their audience and their place in music and hopefully have a more successful album. And then the girls in the group that want to go solo, then they could go solo because they have a better chance of making it. I don't know how Camila's going to do. I don't think her performance was all that great. It was okay. The staging was good. She had the right setup, but she was all right. It wasn't great. And then when she started trying to dance, I didn't realize how stiff she was. I was like, ooh. You can't be trying to do dance hall and reggae and stuff and you that stiff. You might switch genres. You do like Miley. Jump off the black ship and go back and pretend you like country now. But I don't know. It was all right. But I don't know. That song, basically the performance made me not even want to waste my time and catch the encore performance that they were marketing. Because at this point, Game 3 was still on. So Camila, best wishes, I guess. But yeah, if you're going to come solo after leaving such a big group, you're going to have to come harder than that. That was cool, but you know, you gotta go hard. Like, people are rooting for you to fail, so you're supposed to come correct so you don't give anybody or people like me anything to say about your performance. Chainsmokers performed. Whatever song they performed, I actually like that song. It's a whole lot better than that whatever the big song is that they got out, that with the We Ain't Never Getting Over. I couldn't, oh, Jesus, that song. Maybe because it played so much, I was like, I can't do it. I can't. A lot of people liked it. It was kind of a fun song. But after the 80th thousandth time that it's played on the radio, you're like, okay. Yeah, but I don't know. And what I was going to say about them, it was interesting. Like, something about these performers, like, they had the staging and stuff was cool, but they were very bland. Like, I liked the song they had. It's like, something about these new performers are just everybody's just right here. There's nothing that's like, whoa, in your face. And I don't get it because in 2017, with the way the technology is, you can have the most epic performances because everything is there. Now they have like LED screens and there's all kind of lasers and smoke and this, and they can shoot you out the ground and pyrotechnics and water can fly here and this, that, and the third, and they can put stuff in your mic, and your mic can have the auto-tune and all the stuff in it, and there's a million different tricks and treats and gadgets that you can have to make your performance so good in comparison to people who came out in like the 70s and the 80s and the early 90s where really you just had the band and the stage. You might get one screen in the back and two little pyrotechnics and that was it. But I mean, the performers back then, you had to be so talented where you could entertain with just a little bit of a stage. Today, you get an entire Broadway spectacle on the stage, and the people who are on the stage aren't doing anything. I'm like, what is this? And y'all can call me a hater. It is what it is. But I'm sorry, I'm from a different era. Okay, I grew up on Michael, Prince, Janet, Whitney, Mariah, all them. So, and Madonna. So it is what it is. It's just what I'm used to seeing. So when I'm seeing all the newer people that are coming out, and it's like, y'all have all of this support with you on the stage, I just expect to be moved. But it is what it is. Now, I will say, whoever this Julia Michaels girl was, I really liked her performance. I think I said her name right. She probably had one of my favorite performances of the night. It was simple. And I like that the song that she sings sounds different than what's out. Because a lot of what's out right now sounds the same, at least in the pop lane. I thought that song she had was really creative, and I liked the personality she had in it as she performed it, and she had like a little orchestra and stuff. That was dope, and so sometimes less is more. And so at this point of the show, I thought she had the best performance of the night up until that point. Ed Sheeran performed. I don't really ever have anything bad to say about Ed Sheeran. He was alright. I liked his little guitar riff in the beginning. The song, that was my first time hearing it. But his performance was cool. I think during some of his, I flipped back to the game just to be sure, make sure I wasn't missing much. After him was Miley. Miley, I was going to do a video on you, but I was out of town, and you were so lucky I didn't have my camera because, ooh, I was going to get you. Alright, so Miley has changed her sound. You know, she said she was going through a phase when she did the whole rap thing, and now she's an artist now. And I'm like, listen, I don't mind you guys switching genres and going back to what you're comfortable doing, but y'all don't got to keep throwing black people and black culture under the bus every time you think you've evolved, okay? Evolving doesn't mean that because it's no longer black. It's, you know, evolved or matured. Just you know, if you want to switch to your country sound, just switch to your country sound. You ain't had to diss it. This is why I like Pink. Pink kind of almost tried that at first when she came out because she was real R&B, and then she wanted to do pop. But she just said, listen, I love R&B, but this is the lane I want to go in. And that was it. And so, cool. No diss to Pink. But Miley, you did a whole magazine article and just threw all us under the bus after you did all that mess. I was like, you dancing on stage with dildos and stuff ain't had nothing to do with hip-hop. That was you just being Miley. but whatever. And then the song that she performed, in my opinion, I'm a fan of country and bluegrass and folk. I don't think the song is that great. I think she can do a little bit better than what she came out with. And it is what it is. I think vocally it was okay, but the song, I'm like, she can do a little better than that. Lorde performed. I liked her performance for what it was. I thought it was creative to do the whole karaoke room thing. Plus, listen, I'm a karaoke junkie anyway, but I don't like doing karaoke where it's in the room, because that's not fun, because it's just you and like your 3 or 4 friends or whoever came with you. But see, I like, if I do some karaoke, I want the whole venue. Like, I need a stage. I want to get on everybody's nerves up in there. Everybody's going to hear what I got to say, especially when I get to do my Bobby Brown numbers. So, yeah. So, Lorde's song now, or is it Lorde or Lorde? It's Lorde. Lorde's performance was cool. It got better towards the end. At first, I was looking like, what am I watching? This is stupid. But then when it started making sense, I'm like, okay, this is cool. And I like that she's unique and she sticks to her own lane and she's not trying to really be anybody else. So she's okay with me. Who else? Sam Hunt performed. The song was okay. I was kind of flipping to the game at this point. I missed most of Sam Hunt, but Sam Hunt's song was cool. Diddy came out. He talked about this Can't Stop, Won't Stop movie that's coming out. I've already seen the movie because I was at Tribeca Film Festival. The trailer doesn't really do justice for what the film is really about, in my opinion. I think they could have done a different trailer, but it's a really, really great documentary, so you have to check it out when it does come out. It more so follows the Bad Boy reunion tour that they had, and there's some really cool things in there, just like you see Faith Evans and Lil' Kim make up, because you know they ain't ever really rocked with each other because of Biggie Smalls. You know, you see Total, they have a reunion, and he's able to get Craig Mack and the Locks and all them, so it's a really good documentary. Check it out when you get a chance. There's a really good Whitney Houston one coming out to Showtime as well in August. Celine Dion. Oh, thank God for Celine. So Celine came out and she performed My Heart Will Go On. And this is what I found interesting. Now, Celine is from a different era. She's from that era I grew up in my younger years when I was a kid. And so it's so interesting to see the caliber of how different the performances are based on the generations. Like, she came out and, like, her performance was so, you know, grand, and she had the big Celine gown on, and she was singing in a chandelier, and there wasn't a whole lot. It was just her, the chandelier, the little girl on the flute that they kept panning to early before it was time for the girl on the flute to play. And Celine, I mean, for it to be such a stripped-down performance, Celine got it in. There's just something regal about those performers that were out in the 80s and the 90s and the early 2000s. It's just, there's like a regal essence that follows them. And so Celine got it, and I had nothing bad to say about Celine. What else happened? Imagine Dragons, I missed them. I'm sorry. The game was on. I didn't watch them. Drake performed. With Drake's performance, I like Drake's music. This performance was forgettable. The only cool thing is that it was visually appeasing because he was outside at the little pond thing, fountain with the fireworks and stuff. But then again, Britney Spears had already did that in 2001. Drake's performance was okay. It just, I mean, it was okay if you muted the TV and just watched it for the light show, but he could do a lot better than that. Like, yeah, his music is good, so I need a performance to match the music, but whatever. But he had a great night because he broke Adele's record, but the shady part is they don't give Janet credit, because Janet also had 12 in the same night, and then she got 2 additional awards on top of that, like some kind of achievement awards, but for some reason, Billboard Music Awards, they must hate her or something now, so they act like Adele's the first person to do that. So yes, he broke Adele's record. He didn't break Janet's, but they're not giving Janet her credit, so whatever. Okay, I don't know who this white girl was that performed this Rihanna Needed Me 2.0 song. I missed it because I was actually brushing my teeth, and I was like, oh, Rihanna's performing. Why is she performing Needed Me? This song is old. I'm like, wait, that's not, I was like, that's not Needed Me. And I popped out and looked at what is this? I see some white girl with a do-rag on and studded. I was like, okay, I guess. And so I don't know who she was. The song was all right. It's just, again, everybody's doing stuff that all sounds like something else. So the fact that I thought this was a totally different artist and a totally different song is a problem. So I don't know if Mike Will also made that song or something, but they get it together, man. Let me see. John Legend and Florida Georgia Line performed. That was a cool performance. The song was all right. It got better towards the end. I don't have anything bad to say about that performance either. It was all right. It was cool for what it was. The song kind of sounds like All of Me in the beginning, but I liked it. They sounded really good towards the end of it when they really started belting and using their chest voices, and they blended very well together. So that was a really great collaboration, the whole country and R&B. Like, some people really dislike country music, but I actually like country music because I think country music tells a story. Now, I may not like the demographic of people that usually listen to country music sometimes when it comes to their political choices, but I do like country music. Because it's one of the last genres that are still pretty genuine. Like, people are still using instruments, and I love a good violin and a fiddle and all that stuff like that. And so I can rock with that. So by them meeting up with John Legend and doing that, that was a really great performance to sit through. What else was left? Oh, Cher. Cher is Cher. And Cher did a Cher performance. Cher 71, I have nothing bad to say about her. But it is funny that you have somebody that's 71 up there and she done booked half the people that performed that whole night. Like, what y'all doing, younger people? Come on now. So Cher, that's cool for what it was. She's bold for them outfits. I was like, oh, she is confident. But for her to be 71 and her body's still in that kind of shape, I said, all right, Cher, I ain't mad at you. They needed to fix her mic on the Believe performance because I don't know if she was living or not, but it didn't. The mic was too low. I was like, y'all gonna have to turn it up and do something. But I don't have too much to say about Cher. And then Bruno closed it out. Now, Bruno, I have no beefs with. Bruno can do no wrong in my book. All right, Bruno gets it in. All right, when I'm driving to work, whenever what is it, Too Good to Say Goodbye comes on, man, I get it in. I can't sing like Bruno though, but Bruno got it in when he did the Versace on the Floor song. Really great vocals. Bruno comes from that school. I think that same school that like a Usher or Beyonce or Pink all graduated from, where they knew how to study the greats before them and take those elements and make them into something for modern times. And Bruno is excellent at doing that. He's taken the best of the best from back in the day, taking their elements and use it to help himself, you know, become who he is. So he had a really, really great performance. Vocally, astounding. I was like, thank God somebody can sing tonight. And that's it. But Billboard Music Awards, I can't, y'all. Next year, don't y'all expect to see a review on this award show. All right. Ooh, goodness. Anyway, I'm out. Subscribe.